Hello, so my name is Sarah Salau, and I'm here with the amazing Dr. Posey. I've heard a lot about her recently due to the recent trending topics that have been going on. So I'm here to hear from her and learn a lot about her. She is well known due to curing or like treating patients using natural medicine. So I'm here to learn more about her and just to see what she has to say. Dr. Posey, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So we actually use supporting the body and not treating or curing. So that's a slight correction, but it's important to know that this isn't about going after disease. It's about helping a person's body heal itself.
Oh, nice. That's really good to know.
Yeah.
So let's start from introduction. So for someone who's never heard about you, like it's the first time they're seeing you, would you like to introduce yourself, like from your name and like what you do?
I would love to. So my name is Gwendolyn Posey. I have a doctorate in natural medicine, a doctorate in pastoral sciences. I have another degree in functional medicine and a couple of degrees in digestion. And but I primarily function as a genomic practitioner. I look at people's genomic expressions and figure out how to support their bodies.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Did you, you said you went to school to study this? You have a PhD in this?
So I have an ND, which is a doctorate of natural medicine.
Wow, that's amazing. So first question, what actually inspired you to get into this?
Ooh, that one's a good one. Because I'm a mom. So my youngest daughter tried to die on me when she was 2.5 years old. Let's see, my second son had issues. My third son had issues. I have a lot of children, and I needed to know more, and I wasn't getting the answers in the medical community. So after all of those years of suffering as a mom, I decided to go back to school and see what I could learn, what was available out there.
Oh, that's really interesting. You mentioned about genomics. So what makes it powerful or like very important in your career?
Well, have you noticed that we're not all the same? We look different, we sound different, we're different heights, different sizes.
Yeah.
We come from different places. Like there's a whole lot in consideration. Well, that makes up our genetics. And genomics is how our genetics express themselves. Okay?
Yeah.
So functional genomics is when we look at your body from a functional perspective, but we use your genomic expression to basically decipher how to help your body function better and optimally.
Nice. I don't think we mentioned this, but what type of patients do you see? And like, also, would you like to tell us where you're located? Like if you have an office you're located in, and like where we can find you for like someone who's just recently learned about this. I would love to, have more info on this, like where to reach you at. So
a couple of things. One, my office is in Oklahoma City. I am really close to Will Rogers Airport. It's 1217 Sovereign Row, Suite 107. But all that's located on my website. We'll have that linked, I'm assuming, at some point. And the people that I see, anybody that's human, I only see humans. The conditions that I'm typically that are being brought to me, autoimmune disorders, the symptoms we all call autism. We have several people that have cognitive decline, type 2 diabetes, just all sorts of people. It's not really about the condition that comes to me. It's more about people trying to explore their own genetics and genomics to see what's causing or driving their ailments.
Interesting.
Because one person could have 5 or 6 diagnoses when they come to me, but they're one person. And so I look at the overall picture.
Oh, I see. So since we're talking about genomics, and you've mentioned like obviously we're all different, we have all different genes. So are you saying that each patient or like people who come to see you, you basically see them or like treat them using different medicine?
Absolutely.
Or like different based on their genes?
Come to find out we're all different. Yes. And what works for you may not work for me.
True.
One of the things I like to say is you can have 15 people with the exact same symptom and have 15 different causes.
Interesting.
Instead of saying, here's a Band-Aid, one thing.
Yeah.
There's kind of a couple of analogies there. We're not the same. I mean, everybody seems to get that. And our driving forces aren't the same. Like, I could give you cheese and you'd be fine with cheese.
Yeah.
I eat cheese and I might get a rash.
Yeah.
I don't do so well with cheese. Could you imagine every single vitamin, every single nutrient in your body is exactly the same way? There are things that I can give someone that, like quercetin is a common nutrient. But if you have the COMT variant, quercetin is actually going to cause you to have high anxiety.
True.
And then talk about allergies. I used to have an anxiety disorder. It was really bad. Come to find out, I'm actually allergic to honeysuckle and night blooming jasmine. And so I was getting these seasonal anxiety symptoms, and it wasn't actually anxiety. It was my form of allergic reaction. So if I went to a practitioner of medical basis, we would have just thought I had an anxiety disorder.
Makes sense. So, quick question. So, well, not quick, but one question that anyone who hears this, like treating or like actually seeing patients with autism, because we've seen so many people with autism just growing up and, just living with autism and like not having a cure, like a treatment for it, So do you actually have patients who have seen you and you've seen like improvements?
Huge. We've had a couple come completely off the spectrum and lose their autism diagnosis, actually 3 to be specific.
Wow.
Most of the children are better 5-10% within the first few weeks, just on the panel alone without the genomics. Yeah. And the panel is called a narrow red light panel. It's a little bit different than a regular red light panel. The frequencies are more intense. It goes deeper. Basically, they concentrated red light therapy. And so that's one of the things that these children are coming in doing 3 days a week. But as far as the genomics go, oh my goodness. Right now, my average patient at about the 6-month mark, we're at least 25% improved in functionality. This isn't about curing autism. This is about supporting their bodies so their bodies start to reverse their symptoms. And it's not always what you think. Some people think it's always toxins or it's always... There's a whole lot of that. There's something called a de novo, and a de novo is a new gene variant that is just related to that individual. So we're seeing about 40,000 different de novos, and you guys can look up de novo if you wanted to. But some of these kids have mitochondrial dysfunction. Some of the kids have toxicity. Some of these kids are injured from their shots. There's lots of different variants there. It's not all the same, and they're not cookie cutters. The treatments are all different. The length of time it takes them to start recovering is different. And there is a percentage of children that I have not had a whole lot of improvement. Everyone's had some, but it's slow. And so it's going to take me a couple of years. We tell people with the autism, it takes about a year to really get the full impact of what we do here. Growing the brain or regrowing the brain is a difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The frequencies are more intense. It goes deeper. Basically, they concentrated red light therapy. And so that's one of the things that these children are coming in doing 3 days a week. But as far as the genomics go, oh my goodness. Right now, my average patient at about the 6-month mark, we're at least 25% improved in functionality. This isn't about curing autism. This is about supporting their bodies so their bodies start to reverse their symptoms. And it's not always what you think. Some people think it's always toxins or it's always, there's a whole lot of that. There's something called a de novo, and a de novo is a new gene variant that is just related to that individual. So we're seeing about 40,000 different de novos, and you guys can look up de novo if you wanted to. But some of these kids have mitochondrial dysfunction. Some of the kids have toxicity. Some of these kids are injured from their shots. There's lots of different variants there. It's not all the same, and they're not cookie cutters. The treatments are all different. The length of time it takes them to start recovering is different. And there is a percentage of children that I have not had a whole lot of improvement. Everyone's had some. But it's slow. And so it's going to take me a couple of years. We tell people with the autism, it takes about a year to really get the full impact of what we do here. Growing the brain or regrowing the brain is a difficult.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually from Kenya in Africa, specifically from the Maasai community. So we do believe a lot in natural medicine. We use natural medicine for simple diseases like a cold, Even some had diseases, like big diseases. So I do believe in natural medicine. My question is, what are the importance, or like what can you tell us more about natural medicine, the importance of it, like do you have experience in it, like working with it a lot?
Yes. So I have been a naturopathic doctor now for 9 years,
Wow.
almost 10.
Nice.
I originally trained in Uganda.
Wow, that's interesting.
So I trained under a traditional Vietnamese group called Hmongs, traditional Cherokee Indians.
Yeah.
And then I went to Uganda and trained under traditional healers there, also while working in the hospital called Imbarara University of Science and Technology. I spent a lot of time there, and I still currently work with doctors there. It's a fantastic. I do believe in natural medicine. I'm not 100% natural medicine or nothing else.
Okay.
So, there are most things we can get rid of with natural medicine. I call this first medicines. So in almost every single country on the planet, natural medicine is the first medicine of choice.
True.
Here in America, we call it an alternative medicine, where in other countries it's called complementary medicine. And what it's really is, this is first medicine.
Yeah.
Start here and supporting the body. I haven't quite understand why they would think that a chemical or a harsh chemical could cure you. I've never considered that poisoning yourself would bring better health.
Yeah.
But that's part of the conversation we have here in America.
Nice. So a follow-up question on that. You mentioned that when you were in Uganda, you were working with doctors at the same time while doing natural medicine, or like learning about natural medicine. So is there any conflict between that? Why I'm asking this is, we've seen some natural medicine doctors discouraging patients from seeing pharmaceutical doctors, or like saying that is the wrong way. What do you have to say about that? Or like, would you discourage your patients not to see their pharmaceutical doctors if they have?
Never. So what I'm about is choice. My objective is informed consent. So I have a couple objectives. One, I want to separate the patient from their ailment. You are not your disease. You are someone that has this, but it's not yours. And so it's kind of separating you from the disease itself, so that we can then look at the underlying causes. Actually, I created this book. So this Genome Speaks.
Wow.
When I do their genome, I then do all this research about their particular genes and their particular health situation, and I print out the research. And then I compile it in a way that is easy to understand for the patient. So this is actually my genome here. And what I do is, when I see your genes, and I have research for that particular gene and that particular supplement to support that gene, I mark it with a little sticker. So this one's like a little football. So I actually put on your gene, this will be under your gene, but then I'll print up the research and make sure you can get to it adequately and quickly. This way, if you wanted to also see your pharmaceutical practitioner, you could, and you could validate what you're learning here and take it back to there. So my goal is not to have this medicine and this medicine, but to have a cooperative communication. So we have access. It's not about limiting the people that come into my office. It's about giving them every option at every level, no matter what. And fully informed consent. You are a powerful woman. I would never want to tell you how to treat your family.
Yeah.
That's it. You've got your own brain and your own mind, and you're completely capable of making decisions for yourself. Sure. My job is to make sure you have all the resources to make those decisions, and that's why I do what I do.
Nice. So you mentioned red light panel. What is that for someone who's, doesn't do medicine, or like don't have any idea what that is? What is red light panel, and do you use that?
So what I have in there is, I have 3 photobiomodulation panels. Now, some people are familiar with what a red light panel is.
Yeah.
There's a frequency of light that helps to penetrate your skin and helps with healing. I have something a little bit different. I have what's called a narrow red light therapy, and it's where soft laser lights have blended with red light therapy to make a whole new, very, very intense form of red light therapy. So I have 2 panels that are different. I have 3 panels total, but I have a contouring panel, and then I have a neuro panel. Now, the neuro panel is actually stimulating neurons in these young people's brains to grow. It's actually used for a lot more than that, though. I had a young woman in here earlier who has diabetic neuropathy, And we're able to completely reverse her diabetic neuropathy with diet and using this photobiomodulation, including healing some really nasty wounds.
Wow.
I think that we've been given permission to share those eventually. But for the young people that come in, we find that they are very quickly recovering from aggressive outbursts. They no longer run into traffic. We see changes almost immediately, starting on the red light therapy. And again, it's called narrow red light therapy. The panel that we have is from MedWave. It's very, very expensive. It's not something that you can get for inside your home. Yeah. They do have a type that's for your home, but it's not this one. So if you ever went to look it up, it's called, you go MedWave and metabolization, and you can actually look at the benefits of this particular panel. It's a lot to go through. So we actually call this therapy photobiomodulation. And then the neuro panel actually has two frequencies, one to stimulate neurons and another one that releases serotonin. So those who are depressed or have anxiety, it actually helps them feel better almost immediately from being under that panel. Mm-hmm. It's a phenomenal resource. It helps to get rid of scar tissue. I had hooded eyes. I was about to have surgery on my eyes because they were overlapping, and it's now made it so I don't need surgery on my eyes.
Nice.
It helps to decrease endometriosis. Lots and lots of benefits from this photobiomodulation form. It is part of our entire overall package too. So if you are local and you get your genomics done, I include some time in there because it's so healing. And while you're waiting for your genomic report to come in, you're already starting treatment immediately.
Okay. So the diseases that you've actually mentioned, including autism, some behavioral illnesses like anxiety and all that, these are really hard diseases to treat, like to actually work on the patients with. What challenges do you face, and like what do you do to, work best with these patients?
Well, first of all, let me say that I have an autistic child, or I had an autistic child, and suffered from many of these mental health challenges on my own. So there's an empathy there that I think is to be recognized. Next, the most challenging part about my job is the ability to sit back and listen. It doesn't always work perfectly out the door. We have to work things in stages. And I'm a very impatient person. Like, I want everybody done and healthy right now. The biggest challenge I have is the fact that we come back to the table and work everything and start from scratch again and again and again until we get to where we're going. Mm-hmm. And the patience is being patient with myself and being patient with the person across the desk. And just to work through the puzzles over and over and over again, that's actually the biggest challenge. It's also the biggest reward too. And that typically comes together. Challenges and rewards typically come together frequently.
Nice.
It's an honor to be here in this position, and it's an honor to be with these people in their time of healing. I also refer to everything that's going on as their healing process, not as their disease state. But that's what this book is for.
Yeah.
Like, we start somewhere, and then if we didn't get it right perfectly, or if we got a little bit better, then we just kind of adjust, look at this, refer back, and do it again.
Yeah, so it does take a lot of patience to basically work.
It takes a lot of patience, yeah.
So actually, on my way here, I saw the news crew, Channel 9, just walked out here on my way in. That means Dr. Posey is making waves. So yeah, you're well known now. So what are your goals for your practice? Or like how far do you want to go? Like, how big is your goal to like grow your practice now?
Well, to make a bold statement, I attend every conference available. I was actually just a speaker at MAPS recently, and I'm learning everything I can from every other practitioner that's willing to share their secrets with me. The goal is to give parents 100% access to everything available. And so I would love it if every parent in Oklahoma has the options, has the hope, and then always has another thing to try. So that's actually why we make the Genomics Speaks too. Yeah. In there's always something else we can try. You never are out of hope and options. And even if all you want to do was just do this so that you can get this book for yourself and work with your own kids, I'm your partner in this. This isn't I'm doing this to you or for you. This is I'm doing this with you.
Yeah.
This is your gateway to understanding, your gateway to always having perpetual hope. And what are my goals? Well, I'm actually opening another office in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm actually
Wow.
leaving in a couple of days.
Congrats!
Thank you.
Congratulations!
I'm working with a doctor there, and I'm teaching him genomics. That's
Wow.
kind of an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And he's overviewing me here, so we have a mutual impact on one another. But the goal is in the future is something called equipped practitioners. What we're doing is we are literally making sure doctors have this bridge for when they want to learn natural medicine and genomics and when they want to help more people.
Yeah.
This isn't about gatekeeping. This is about getting all the information from all the practitioners that are making a difference and getting it into the hands and into the minds of the parents. It's all about the hope, y'all. We cannot keep moving like this as if we're hopeless and there's nothing we can do. And those of you who say autism doesn't need to be treated, when you have a poop smearing child, or when you have a child that's banging their heads or biting themselves or destroying themselves, those people need help.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Dr. Posey, for having me today. I have learned a lot from you, and I am ready to learn more about you. I'll be back with more questions. So this is just the beginning, so I'll see you again and again and again. But okay, so to close this out, would you also want to you mentioned this, but just for the people who just got here, where are you located? Do you see patients outside of Oklahoma? Like, do you do online, seeing patients online? And like any social media handles that you have that we will actually link them down below on this video, so you can always reach out to either. I think you have TikTok, Instagram.
I have all the things, but I don't do any of them. I have a team that does that. My team is over here.
Yeah, but she's the one that sees patients. So, so yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so about 60% of the people that I see are outside of the Oklahoma City area.
Oh, wow.
That's a huge percentage. So far, I mean, I'm hoping to have more in Oklahoma City because I've got those beautiful panels in here, and let's get those used. I do have social media, and it's Functional Genomic Medicine, Functional Genomic Solutions. Both are engaged here. I am not charged with my social media, so I don't even look at it. I don't answer questions there. I have a whole team that handles all that. I'm too busy with people in the office and doing what I do. And research. I probably spend 8 hours a day in research.
Yeah, I can imagine, different genes for everybody. So yeah, that's a lot of research.
I think the problem is that I remember who's got what genes. So they can actually just text me. I'll be like, oh, remember you have this one? Whew. Some days it's a little
you spend
overwhelming.
a lot of time with them. So yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
You're right. Thank you for acknowledging that.
Yes. You do. So
I love them. I want them to get better. And then the days that they celebrate, those are the days that I celebrate. That's what's most important to me, is seeing those days where there's just great improvement. And it always comes from them trying, them doing the next step. But thank you for having me. And anytime you want to come by and do this, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll do. So yeah, she's located in Oklahoma City. We'll link the exact address on this video and phone number and any social media handles that she has. So you can always give a call or send a message on any of the social media handles, or even just send a message to that phone, and you'll have a team reach out to you, schedule an appointment. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.